Protection and Rehabilitation District special budget meeting. Typically, in the past, budget meetings have been held adjunct to the normal monthly meetings. This year, we decided to separate the two, basically, so we don't have a 2-hour meeting. So this agenda will be for the budget for fiscal year 2025. Tonight's call to order. Mr. Woodman has entered the building. Tonight's meeting is an open meeting as always, in accordance with New York State Public Open Meetings Law. We are live on Zoom and from Reserve 4 in our Beaver Dam Lake Community Building. We're being recorded and this will be posted via the YouTube section of our Orange County DPW website. Roll call for this evening. I'm the chair, Christopher Dunn.
Larry Weinberg here. Jason Eunice.
Secretary Eunice.
Fred Whitman.
Kevin Doyle. And then we have 2 vacant seats still in New Windsor. So just a word about that as usual. We're a 7-member board that we're currently seated with 5 and here we are doing extra work. So pledge of allegiance, everybody. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to adopt tonight's proposed agenda? Everybody got a copy of it, right, before?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion.
All right,
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the motion has been adopted. Okay, Larry's not just advertising out to the neighborhood, he's blocking the sun. Good job. All right, no, I was getting confused for a second. No, I'm kidding.
Gotcha.
All right, this meeting will serve as the annual public board review for fiscal year 2025 of Beaver Dam Lake District. Basically, today, we're going to summarize all, and mostly Secretary Jason Eunice is going to facilitate summarizing all the different parts of our budget for 2025. There'll be board discussion. There's still some things that are up in the air, whether or not we decide to allot more money or pull money away from a certain bucket, so to speak. That will take place tonight, and then the meeting will conclude with the board voting on the budget. All right. With that, Mr. Eunice.
Okay, let me share my screen.
So Jason's gonna share his screen and then it'll come up for all of you. There it is. Can we get a verbal from somebody? Christina, can you just come on, unmute and just say you see it or do not see it?
Oops, I can see it.
Oh, I wish I had a bigger screen.
You
It's
wanna
fun doing both of these at once.
stand up? You want me to come over there?
No, I need a bigger workspace.
Gotcha.
If I didn't have my 2 screens from home, so
Double
it's a heck of a lot easier.
Gotcha.
Okay. So column AA is what we actually spent in 2023. And the prior columns are what the county accepted versus what we initially proposed. Column AD and AE is what we submitted last year for this year's budget. There's no actuals yet. And this is the one we're working on currently, 2025. This is what we're asking the county for. So I guess we start with the labor 2, just our maintenance position. And I increased that by 5% from 2024 as a inflation cushion.
Inflation, yeah. Dude, just a note about so we still have not received the full actuals from, or this is because we're in the middle of 24.
We're in the middle of 20.
So we wouldn't get it to the end of the year, okay.
Yeah, we would only have 5 months of actuals.
Right.
They finished closing the month today, like I was doing all day,
Gotcha.
which is tough. Any questions on personal services?
So that includes what the bulk, so the bulk of that is our our DPW maintenance.
It's maintenance.
Yeah, the pond at the moment.
There, if you notice that the 2023 was higher than that, that's because the way they booked it, it also included the lifeguard's salary as well. But the way we budgeted, it was down with the lifeguard beach maintenance contract.
Yeah.
So the lines are different, but in the end, it all washes out. So that. Equipment expenses are things we're requesting this year. Some garbage cans for the reserves. Was the PO or the RQ put in last year for the microwave?
No. No, the microwave is not put in.
Okay, so I kept that one in. Well,
We all agree that we need a microwave here.
yes, our lifeguards should be able to have
Right.
warm
Yeah.
food if they
Yes.
like.
Okay.
I'm under the impression that it works.
Oh,
I don't know, somebody who used it the other day.
Well, if it works, then we don't need it.
okay.
So I'll double check.
Then I can take that off and you can save more money.
Okay.
Umbrellas for the picnic benches. Replacement swim mats. Chris has been
Yep.
cobbling together our current ones and they're falling apart.
Right, yeah, we're hoping to get one more season out of them. The riggings will be new at the end of maybe this summer, but then, yeah, we should have new ones for next year.
Yep, and we hope to get more moorings for the buoys and floats to go along with the ropes.
Right.
Some general maintenance things for there. And this is one big ticket item we'd like to propose. A laptop.
By all means.
So the old office computer is
Yes.
very old. I'm using my own personal laptop to do this presentation, which is also very old and it's on its last legs and a tiny workspace. If the one that I have selected, it's nice and big, you'll be able to see more of the screen and it'll be less strenuous on your eyes.
So, can I propose a motion that the board, would like to add the office laptop to the budget?
So move.
Second here.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, so moved, we will add that, yeah, I think can't argue that we need to have proper technology, and Jason or anybody else shouldn't have to continue to use their own, computer.
Okay, so a lot of these lines are pretty much fixed by the county. They're allocated based off of some percentage that they have.
So these regard, you're talking about like the fees, like the internal
So-
administration fees, or the legal fees?
Like legal fees, it's just a percentage of Beaver Dam's area. I'm not sure how they calculate it, but it's just their percentage of the legal fee costs that we
Mhm.
get, or they're allocated for something that, like, see, in 2020, we didn't need any,
Right,
so just in case we need it. But the orange lines are the ones that we're really requesting things for, the projects that we're working on. And those are the ones I would like to look at. So for 2023, we stayed in for what we have asked for. Open this up more and bigger screen. We'd be able to see all of these, but
so.
so this is a breakdown of what most of this was. So dam expenses, dam maintenance, routine. Admin fees.
Very bottom question mark, what's that?
Yeah, I have to drill down into that, to make up what that number is, so it was probably stuff that we didn't request,
So these
or
things,
stuff that went
so
over.
these things are here for the dam, so these are the things that.
This is any consultant services.
Right, so professional consultant services that come in, like, for instance, the LLO is the lower level output pipe that has to get inspected, that I think we first spoke about in 2020, and 21 or 22 now.
Is it the towns?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they uncovered that there was a slight leak and we need to monitor it for, I believe, 10 years. So that $7,500 is fixed and that.
In addition to that, you also need to do GP underwater services.
Right, that underwater services, that includes the monitoring of that leak, the pipe leak.
Scuba search and rescue and pipe inspection.
Pipe inspection.
Right, yeah, and that's if like the initial inspection shows there's something going on, then you're gonna need a finer
Right,
microscope to go in and check.
Mhm.
All right, so where are we? Unanticipated engineering. That's a fail safe or
If something
something goes wrong with the dam,
goes wrong,
$25,000.
beach maintenance, which we had for last year, I broke it down into where with the lifeguards and the beach manager, if we ever get that, I'm not sure how that's proceeding. If the county's looking into it or one of us are.
If I may, I just have, so, beach management is something that the board here has been trying to get in place for a number of years. I'd be lying if I said I didn't go by exactly what former chairwoman Erica Dahl said. It's a heavy lift. It's really something that, the board themselves, we, and whoever's here on a volunteer basis have to physically be here. That's to be a presence to manage the lifeguards, set the schedules. Anything comes up, there's always a number on call. So whenever the beach is open, which is pretty much most days, through the summer, somebody's gonna be here to check. Even if we had to close, there's still gonna be somebody here checking. So to have a management company has been agreed upon for years to we better serve the community if we can hire them. So I believe that's also the reason for having that $50,000 number. For having, is there, where does it say that how much we wanted to allot for
Which line are you talking
the
about?
management?
Management, 20,000 for the manager
Oh, I
and
see
then
it.
21 for spread out between the lifeguards.
Yes, okay, so lifeguard, and then beach management, 20.
I see, okay.
Mhm.
All right, so do we want to hold that number? Do we want to allot for any more? And to be honest, it's gone out for bid before and we just haven't gotten a return. There's been only one company in the past 3 years that even raised their hand and they were more of a pool management company and they came back to us late. So I believe that was the reason why Erica and the DPW didn't entertain them, because I think they,
If we're not getting any bites, then we should probably raise it up if it's something we really need.
What is available as far as companies that would be interested in doing something like this? Do we have any idea what's out there?
it has to go bid for services. It has to go to a full.
But I mean, does the county or anybody know that, yes, there are 25 companies that might be interested in this, or there's one company?
I know of two. I know one out
Yeah.
in Connecticut and there's one in.
So is it up to us to search, or will the county search?
And do they have to be on the vendor list?
I don't suppose they need to be a vendor because I think,
We can get a vendor, adding a vendor is easy. They just need to fill out a form.
I know, but they may not want to.
I see what Kevin's saying, like to go find a company that's out in eastern PA that would wanna come here.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be on the vendor list. They're not even gonna be known. So I think you're saying like out of who is known to the county, DPW, right? Is the DPW doing research to bring
Who
in?
runs Bear Mountains Lake?
I don't know. It's not the DEC. It's not a state farm. I don't know. Is
Lifeguards
that
and everything
parks?
else there.
Yeah, state,
Might be a state park.
state parks system, not certain.
Could it be a position for the DPW?
Well, for budgetary purposes, to keep this going.
Let's keep it where it is.
Do we want to keep it where it is? Because our confidence level is low that it's even, I mean, we're not gonna get anybody for this year. This budget is for next year.
Bump it up 5?
But do we bump it up? Because I mean, we certainly have at the moment a surplus to take from other places. There's even general services. Do we bump it up and
I'd say so, because 20,000 for the season is kind of
seems
low.
low? Seems pretty low. I feel like them just scheduling all their time here would probably eat up much of that.
June, July, August, September.
Yeah.
At least,
Yeah,
Well, September, you'd close around
so
Labor Day.
at least 3 months, so
3
they're
months, 3 months.
10,000 a month, so 30,000.
Maybe I should apply for that job.
There was a time I could train lifeguards, so yeah, that would be one thing. Okay, should we? You want to propose to a raising 10,000 for the overall beach budget or?
To be competitive, yeah.
Okay. All right, do I hear a motion for that?
One, I motion.
To raise the beach management from 20,000 to 3,000, to 30,000, sorry. Raising 10,000. Yeah, okay. All right, second,
Aye,
all right, all in favor?
aye.
All right, so move.
To circle back to Kevin's question on what the question mark 57,000 was, that was an unknown budgetary line. I couldn't identify it in the notes in the files that they've had. But our spending for this line was only 40,000. So if that reassures anybody,
So for the listeners at home, anything that isn't spent, which I'm sure we're gonna get to, goes to the surplus. We'll talk more about what that means later.
these are lines that really didn't change. They are things that we go over each year. Last year we skipped in paper. I think we're,
All right, so this is all budgetary items for here, for what? The
Office supplies.
office supply,
supplies,
the labor expense
a
payroll,
lot of odds and ends that we would normally. go
equipment expense payroll distribution, so that is, I'm not following that. $1,000 for labor expense payroll distribution, equipment expense payroll distribution is $1,000 line for district and lake district. Use of DPW labor paid to county by, so this is an actual.
I think if we had to request labor from the DPW for whatever reason, would come out of this.
Okay, so this tree we have to take coming down.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the tree coming down.
There is a tree coming down there, so if we had to have somebody open up the building for when the voting machines would come.
Right, none of us could do
At
it.
3 in.
Yeah,
None of
right.
us could do it, they would have to pay somebody at the
Right.
DPW. This would be one of those things that
Okay,
I believe would come out of. But as you can see, in 2023, it's not something that really gets used.
got it.
And then would go into the following year surplus, so whatever we didn't do in 23 becomes 25 surplus, so it's like a year delay.
And if we go back in history, it seems to be, it was unchanged.
Yeah, it's pretty flat.
Pretty
for,
flat, yeah,
each year.
$1,000.
1 year,
$15?
in 2021, we had $1,015.
Oh, the actual is actually interesting.
Yes,
All right. $3,000 for stone, wow, sand, salt, yes, that we know, we have contract, seed, salt.
so water for the building, I bumped that up by 100. It's based off of usage.
All right, hardware, battery, bolts. Paint, fresh coat of paint every few years is good. Buildings.
And this is stuff like, it's if we need it,
Mm-hmm,
and if we don't spend it, it's just cushion for your taxes the following year, which is for surplus, we'll get that a little later.
Now, what is the 500 for the reserves? That's just taking care of the surface or what?
What number?
It's, last on the line.
Number of supplies.
Number supplies?
No, reserves, $500 at the bottom of the,
Buildings reserves,
yeah.
there's some rolled up text. It's lumber, related supplies, community building and reserves.
Okay,
So lumber for the racks,
mm-hmm.
do you,
so this was money we can even use for the boat project,
yes,
the boat storage project.
yeah, we also have stuff, we got 1,000 for hardware, and there's a whole plethora of screws and bolts in it, so we're good on hardware.
So
But-
lumber, I don't think 500 is enough for lumber.
But if you look at the hardware, we could shift it, we could swap them.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Because of the cabinet back there,
Mhm.
those lag.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot, I think we have the actual
Hardware.
hardware, yeah, the bolts, that's right, the lags, the carriage bolts, I've seen them with my eyes, we have those.
So we switched them, that doesn't change the budget,
Got it, so if we were to even drop that by 500 and add it to the lumber, we're good.
and even if we didn't, even if we went over
Absolutely.
one of these categories.
Hello, sir.
Hi. Hey, Nick.
Hi, have a seat.
Hello there, Nick.
So even if we were to go over the lumber, there's all these other categories that don't get used. And if they would get used up, since it's all in the same greater bucket.
Right. Yes, okay, and being it's in the same category. So is there a reason to change the terminology on the sheet, or should we?
No, I just switched the lumber and the hardware to make more sense. We don't need that much in hardware.
Okay, all right. So continuing on, with plumbing, electrical, chemicals, cleaning supplies, all things we need for the building, repair parts. Motor oil and lubricants, which we don't really have a whole lot of machines because we have a landscaper that has their own machines.
And it was $40 we spent in 2023. It's.
Which most likely was for the snow
The
blower,
snow blower.
the one
yeah.
time that the snow blower was used 3 years ago.
Yeah, or it could have been oil for the chain for the electric saws.
Right. All right, shipping charges, specialty materials.
So the next thing would be the lab services. That, so in 2023, wasn't a budget item because it was a new thing that came up, which was the E. coli testing.
Mhm.
They were about $250 per test. So we anticipate probably doing 8 of them, at least even with this year, so I'm gonna roll that number to 2025.
Are you referring to the C-slap?
Not C.
No, okay. No.
This was the test that we did with AJ.
Oh, okay, because the E. coli testing that we did for the tributaries, those were $40 each. So I was just curious, so each bottle was 40. Did it work out to
And
be
we
that? it was
did how
200?
many?
And how many times did we do that?
That's what I said, it was 3 times. And, some of them were 5 days, some of them were 5 bottles, some of them were 6 bottles,
Mhm.
so.
So I'm
5
overestimating
times 6.
8, so 8 tributaries in.
Yes, all right, that number is definitely going to go up. Because when we talk to AJ at this meeting next week, he's definitely gonna have an expanded plan that I know. We're going to expand E. coli testing greatly.
Yeah, so this budget, at least something, we can get a better idea of it this year for 2026 then. But it's something,
Okay, right.
and about $2,000 for C-slap sampling,
So the state paid for that.
not anymore. Fred, what was it? They're
They're
gonna
doing half.
They will do 4.
they're only gonna pay for 4 now.
Right. If we wanted to reduce it down to 4, then it would be gratis. But we said we were gonna stay at 8, so we're gonna pay for 4.
And the C-slap membership is gonna be waived.
Right.
So where we lose in membership, what we gain in membership fees, we lose in for extra testing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the only membership we're gonna have is actually the nice FOLA. The New
'Cause
York State.
that's based on reimbursement, right?
Yeah,
So
well, that's if we want to attend the
And-
conference.
Anybody that goes pays up
No,
front.
what they're saying is, isn't there a fee for membership though?
That's the one that's being waived.
So there's no more lake fee for the lake itself.
Yeah,
The board doesn't have to pay that. No, okay, so that's something, all right, so it's an individual. Membership, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so is there any reason to alter any of that? And does anybody foresee any reason to alter it, or?
Well, do we
Should we
want to
increase
increase
the lab
the
service?
E. coli testing?
Yeah, so Kevin's making a good point. So currently, so we don't have what we spent. So what we spent on it was $690, is that accurate? For
Yeah.
so that's just the
that was the
coli.
2 batches of tests, from what I remember, were for E. coli.
Yeah, that is most definitely going to be expanded like 3 to 4 fold.
No, this math is wrong, so I have 3 tests at 250. Magistrate. So if you think
Did you make a real time change, you know that, right?
that was just in notes, my
So we're
formula was
moving the
3
change
at-
into 750.
Okay, I'm following you. I see it now. You,
not
okay.
yet. I'm just changing the note.
They charge like $250 a month for the telephone.
That's what I was thinking, just say, for a landline, $250.
I think that's probably,
Is it, didn't we,
they got looped in with
Internet?
the internet,
Still,
which I think I would probably save $10.
it's cheaper now.
It is a little slightly cheaper with better internet,
And it-
significantly better internet.
And the requirement is so that we have 911 here, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
for the lifeguards, okay. So that would be and for any reason, really, but. Okay. So we can't change the phone.
So should I bump it up to 4? Should I bump it to 5?
What's that?
The E. coli testing, or is there another lab testing?
Yeah, no,
Throw in,
so,
that could be lumped up with the GEI testing up here, maybe, yeah, the GEI testing at 20,000 up here.
so,
Because that's contractual, the lab testing for the E. coli was not. The
Well-
ad hoc.
and keep in mind, there's something that we haven't brought up yet at a meeting, that we wanted the ability on HAB days to potentially test for coli too. So it'll be the same procedure. Take a bottle, drive it to Marlboro, within 4 hours, and then it would be that 35, it's actually $35 fee because they cut a break to the county.
Yeah.
Because they happen to be the Ulster County, go figure, the vendors aren't in Ulster, it's not in Orange.
Well, then if that's the case, we need to significantly bump that up based
Yeah.
off our amount of halves.
Yeah, so. That's. Based on, off the top of my head, the average, that easily should go up. So probably about, from right now, it's so finished, so it was,
We try 10.
10 what?
10 lab tests for E. coli, so
Oh.
10 times 250.
So it's like 10.
scared me, I think
Yeah,
it's $10,000.
You
I
confused
was
me on
like,
that one too.
wait, we're off here. Okay, so, yeah, so you have this for how many, right? So even if it's 4 each day and you add them all up, and 10's actually a pretty good number. So if you were to say you expand it by. And multiply it by,
We put us at 25.
That's 40.
I was gonna say somewhere between. 25 to 3, I think. I think we're safe at 25.
Yeah, we have, like we said, we have plenty of room in the other categories to
Yeah,
swish around.
and unfortunately, we're into June. And some tests have been held back because we have not taken delivery of the oxygen sensor. So we would have already had tests this year. We had.
I'm worried about that.
It's coming, DPW said it was, the PO was through weeks ago, it just has not arrived to the building, we have a tracking, we have the spool to hold the cable, we don't have the piece of equipment. And we purchased that piece of equipment to, we purchased that piece of equipment to offset future costs, because then we wouldn't have to pay GEI or anybody else to do it, we could do it ourselves at any moment. With the 10-meter cable to go out and check the lake whenever we need. So, okay, do we, is there a motion to raise it to, $2,500, lab services to $2,500?
Motion.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, electric for the building, the heater, space heater, same.
Okay, telephone, advertise, no. It's funny, what was the 77, that was in 2023, there was 7730 for advertising? I was curious what the category is.
Could have been like some marketing, could have
I
been
think it's for
flyers.
like the yard sale and stuff like that.
Yeah, could be.
Because they used to send out postcards too. When did they send out postcards?
Oh, that was back before the dam was taken, that was for chemical. Notification, treatment
The treatment
notification.
notification.
Yeah, they were originally done on postcard,
Hmm.
and that's why there was a lot of, there was stamps that were here. 'Cause it used to be required that it was put out in the US mail.
Okay, so nice little C-SLAP training conference. I think this is for the actual going to the conference,
Which is reimbursement.
which is a
Reimbursement.
reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yes,
This year, hopefully we'll be able to go.
Yeah, I would love to go again. I have not
yeah,
been.
it'd be nice to go in 2025.
Yeah.
It overfilled by December for this year, so
Yeah.
we missed the first one. Now we're going to Nashville of Light,
Mhm.
which will be cheaper, at least for this year.
Yep.
Okay, all right, so we're good, especially printing,
Specialty payments.
So printing is gonna be, I was just about to say, that falls into vehicle stickers, which is something that we're gonna be
Yeah,
jumping into
Mhm.
for next year. Have we had a quote on what that might cost? Do we have an idea?
I was gonna ask, we,
It's
you
in the
know,
inbox, I don't know, I can't recall it off the top of my head.
Like, are we trying to buy 2,000 stickers? How many stickers are we trying to?
I think the
Get our
box,
hands on
it
it.
was like 1,000 per one.
Okay. Which, alright,
again, I know this is not a budget issue, but when we do the stickers this time, we do not put dates
no
on,
year. Mm-hmm.
just the number,
Mhm.
BDL, and then either vote or nothing.
Yeah. Back to specialty payments, flags, sewer tax, election, paying election inspectors.
I don't get flag. I bought that flag.
Okay.
We're done with fish restocking. We're proposing 8,000 for a galvanized fence. Right in front of our lovely beach, so it's nice sliding it open, no more yucky gross. Orange,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
more, and more, and also that's something for security reasons too. So it prevents boat landing for accidental, swimming.
Accidental swimming?
Yes, that's, well, from, late night.
Well, you can put it right on the shoreline?
right, the shore.
Yeah,
How big's the opening gonna be?
I believe it was 8 feet each, so if you had two together, that's 16 feet of opening.
There, I just in early shopping, there were ones that actually were 20. There was even one that was 20. You just put two of them. You put two each way, so you have a 40-foot opening. Because we currently have it close to about a 60-foot opening. So if it's reduced down to 40, I don't believe that's a problem. It's just that bottleneck to get into the lake. It's just, so it will, so that the posts are here, they'll now be here. They close, single lock system, and they're on rails. So that's something that we're looking for security to keep,
The geese out.
now,
yeah, it's twofold, people and geese.
as far as possible budget additions, are we going to broach the idea at all of roping off Reserve 2 and 8?
Yes, that's part of it. Yeah, so definitely reserve 8 is in need.
So is 2, because it's beginning out of hand.
Busy. Right, but eight is far more,
Calls are useless.
right, 8 is far more of an issue though. It is-
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt,
Yeah.
no
it's-
doubt.
Because it will catch, I mean, we have to understand, in the bylaws, there's not supposed to be any parking after from dusk to dawn.
That's right.
That's not enforceable. Most of the time, it's innocuous, it's fine, it's a resident who comes, or maybe not, they come, they sit in their car, they leave. It's when there's a violation, there's a problem, there's something, there's damage and. Boats have been an issue, boats have gone missing,
We have to figure out the logistics of it, but that's talk for another meeting.
yeah, and then we're trying to keep
Agreed.
in the money, yeah, but so we want to. We want to. Have a range of how much money we want to allot for these gates.
Mhm.
And agreed, I think it's certainly up for discussion for 2. But it would be a single, it'd be half the size of the one at 8.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. But as you say, another meeting, I just want to know if you need to add anything to the budget for.
Which we can figure something out, but there should be enough, depending on the size of the scope of the gate.
Sorry, so
Yeah.
what line are we on right now for that?
We
What
are on specialty payments.
Specialty payments, so. That is, I mean, are we okay with it? Because that number is involving what else?
Well, we have,
I think that could be-
Like, we're gonna get this door fixed, this door needs to be, is that part of specialty payments, or is there another line in the budget that would fix? This door when we have a contractor come out and replace this door,
It's sweet.
cause I'm unfamiliar with that. This one was replaced 5 years ago, I believe, and. It was a company that we had to.
Well, something like that,
Maintenance
just operation, we can.
Building back door replacements under maintenance
around.
contract, full up.
That's a good point. So Kevin said that would be much easier because it's under the operations part of the budget that we can easily.
Move from line to line.
Yeah, these are all operations we can move it anyways.
Yeah.
But it's in the next orange section below.
Okay.
So I think if this is just the cost of the gate, I'm not sure if it's the cost of installation.
So do we want to finish this section and then go back and determine if we still have enough within
So we
operations?
budgeted another 5,000 for lumbers for the boat rack.
Right, that's a double. So
That was special?
We already did that in the beginning, another one.
There is a specific line for lumber.
That's for,
Do we-
that's for the entire project. I don't know if that's for 2025. I mean, that's still, I mean, wood isn't cheap any longer, but that's a substantial amount of wood.
Mhm.
Um,
5,000.
So
I
for
mean,
this,
$5,000 worth of 4x4s is 10 times the size of what's out there.
I'll tell you, a galvanized beach fence installed, it's gonna be a lot more than $8,000.
Yeah, oh, certainly, because just the installation fee is probably gonna be. Who knows? I can't even venture to say, really.
so we can bump that up, take the lumber down.
I would say take $2,000 from the lumber and put it to the fence. And we're still gonna revisit the fence, I would say. Once. As we finish this section, so we're leaving the bottom line the same, but we're just moving.
Yeah, so we're just,
Is everybody okay with that?
Sure.
yeah. Title,
Because we do not have a fence scoped out yet. We do not have it priced out. So this is all having it
yeah, it's tough to
in our,
figure it, plan things out in the future, so you get as close as you can.
yeah, because something like that is gonna go up. The labor is gonna go up to install it, so we.
There's the line for title insurance and easement. This is for
Trying to gain access.
to try to gain
the outside of
access, so
the dam.
they'll, on the other side of the dam, so we can perform proper maintenance. I don't know if the county needs to do eminent domain. What,
What is it at right now? What's the line for that right now?
25, 22.5. That's title and easement. Here in the orange.
yeah, 22,500.
I mean, the county's responsible for the safety of their dam,
Yeah,
they should spread that away.
and plus they're gonna charge us
They
for
would charge us
anything,
back.
they're gonna charge us for anything that they can't pay for or they think we should pay for anyway. When it comes to the dam, there's no questioning it. It needs to be done because then they lose their inspection status on it.
So we swirled away from, they need to use their eminent domain to get it done.
How come they ain't jumping on that? They're dragging their feet, right?
Yep, they are. I'm just curious as where we got that. Estimate,
The estimate, I believe,
that's from 2024.
was pulled from last year's budget, which was for the other easement that they purchased on.
So this wasn't
Side of the
prospected,
dam.
this was taken from what it costs for the other easement?
Yes,
Oh, to get to for the original side of the dam, the street side of the dam.
yeah,
But they bought that piece of property too, right? I mean, it
yes, that's where I pulled the numbers from.
was only $2,100.
It's a larger piece of property too, isn't it? Are they about equal? In comparison to the other side, I'm curious to see, I don't know, but yeah, this side's small.
Small, how usable is it?
I mean, this is where, you know, we need advisement on that. The easement is kind of. It may or may not happen thing.
They're buying the easement from who? That resident over there or what?
Well, no, the legal fees to do the easement, because like, I mean, we've spoken directly to the commissioner themselves and it's a county legislature thing. They have to go, so they can announce eminent domain and then the resident can't say anything. They have to.
It goes
pay.
to market.
Yeah, so what does it cost for all of that? We need a
Yeah.
lawyer in the house. Right?
Yeah,
So,
but if the county sees the line, that's something they're asking for, they still have the input of whatever we request. So if they see that's a line item, they can have, also have the option to update any of the numbers that we are proposing.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say leave it alone.
Yeah, it gives us,
It's,
it shows the visual problem. That's something that needs to be done.
because it's something that needs to be taken care of at some point, or we're not going to be able, if our landscaping contractor is not gonna be able to do the other side of the dam, which puts the dam in violation with the state,
It's a
so.
contract in violation too, his contract.
I suppose, right? Yeah, because he's agreeing to do it. They are agreeing to do it. That will not fall on the board.
Okay, brings us to maintenance contracts. 4 algaecide treatments. This is up 1 treatment from which budgeted for 2024.
Yeah, 4 other sides.
And that was a protection.
Yeah.
Because some years we need it, some years we do not.
Just in case we need that 1 extra silver bullet.
At the moment.
Keeping the herbicide treatments the same.
Yes, and speaking for Walter, who was being the recent liaison once again for Pond Lake Connection. Yeah, the recommendation was to, because it was spoken at the last meeting, to leave it. I believe we said aggressive, meaning not to wait for it to grow too far.
Right.
But, which is why we did it when we did it already. We jumped on the mill floor before it came up, and I believe the moment that we see it again, probably into July, we're gonna hit it again.
I think we should need the same attitude with algaecide. Because it's easier to get rid of the fibrous algae when it's young, when it's small, than wait for it to be killed when it's large and float to the.
Yeah,
surface.
and that's one thing that James and GEI, AJ are putting their heads together about this
Now,
year.
what is the agreement as far as inspecting to see when it's needed? Are they waiting for us to call
So we're
them?
gonna discuss that next Wednesday.
Okay.
At the June meeting.
Good.
Yeah.
No more cattails.
Mhm.
DEC permit fees, same, like general services. Here's where the back door replacement is. This is supposed to be spraying for poison ivy, word wrap. There we go. Here are pests, fire extinguishers. Generic electrical repairs like our broken buoy. Various, other various repairs, took that down a little bit, because other numbers are a little high, but. Good with that?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
And then bring this to building and grounds. Probably should bump this up. Getting the contractual maintenance was about 14 and 23. I'd say 15. Grounds and building maintenance.
So you're
It's
saying,
the mowing.
so you're saying. So the regular buildings and ground, or the entire. Okay, so from $25,000 in 2020.
Now, from that specific line, to 13,000,
Oh, I see it now, okay.
bump it up to 15.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And you were bringing up earlier, should we include this, just some kind of buffer in for snow plowing reserves? Currently, I took it off. Should we put it in half?
Right, so the background is that we did not pay anyone to plow last year, nor did we really need it.
Put in 3,000 to make it flat with the bottom cap, the total.
So that we don't have to touch the bottom line of it.
Yeah,
That seems responsible.
or it just falls under the $7,000 of unforeseen as needed.
That's possible.
Eventually, we're gonna get hit with snow.
Eventually, we're gonna get a winter where we get 3 30-inch storms. I
Yes,
mean,
right.
It can happen.
Reserve 2 has to be done by the county, right, because of the.
Yeah, but doesn't the county take care of that?
Only a section of accessibility for number 2,
Right.
for reserve 2, because
They don't do the entire lot, they just do.
I just saw them last year when they did it. They just
Push
made
it
a
straight
path.
back. Just make a path.
accessible for the pickup truck.
I believe our stance last year was that nobody's at the reserve.
And we don't hold events, we don't hold any events there, it's access for. When and if it
I'm also
happens.
making it as inaccessible as possible.
And so that would be if we have any events or meetings here and we have the snow blower for that.
Yes.
Which we do, which we do.
Or
department doesn't kick in.
we can just kick the can, have the meeting remote because we're only
No,
required
because they'll
to
just
have
have a guy traipse down
or
the hill in the snow.
in-person meetings.
Like
And if we have to say something, we
They
can
don't care about driving in.
get it out.
There's a Zoom.
They park on the
specifically,
street, they walk in.
Required meeting.
No,
No,
no, if it's not one we can get into, it's not a required one.
okay.
I mean, if we have to, we want to say something to everybody, we can do an email or we can do an informal meeting. But it wouldn't be an official meeting. Oh, but I think people would understand if it's a blizzard.
It makes sense to me. And sorry for speaking, Kevin and I on a side conversation, shouldn't be doing that. If we're just kind of mentioning about, so the water company has access to this property, they come and they check. Occasionally, there's a person that comes, there's a building that is not part of,
This is Liberty.
yeah, Liberty. So they come, they don't even need to ever come down here, so. I think that they would kick in and clearing it, they don't need to, they park on the street. The person comes down, walks through the snow if they have to, they key into the building, they do their thing, they check their gauges, they take their readings and they leave. So they're, you know, we're not gonna get help from them here. Unless we have a meeting, yeah, we're not gonna need to snow blow immediately, but it's something that we've been able to do ourselves. Okay,
If we had to pay for yard waste debris, we can do that, town picks them up most of the time. The propagate game fish was actually split between two lines, but it's up with the other half of it's with the fish line, whatever that was.
fish and game. So,
That was up where there's a fish line somewhere. The fish restocking.
so that was the actual 33.
No,
30,
there was
20.
two payments, they got booked to two different accounts.
Yeah, 'cause that sounds low, okay, all right.
Yeah, so it was actually like 6 or 7,000, which is what we had budgeted for.
That's right.
So
Oh,
not just
yeah.
some random line, they just coded it, the two payments differently.
Oh, because it was done a year apart because of the hiccup with Hicklins, they didn't have the fish
Yeah.
for the perch, so it actually got pushed, they allotted to move that money from one year to another, that's right. Yeah, because Walter was trying to get it done that year and it couldn't happen because they didn't have
So
enough
this
fish.
was the C-slap dues, which I took off. Yeah, and for the testing, Nancy didn't have us have a number for how much the additional costs are gonna be. So we just estimated.
Mhm. Okay,
So that's all for
best you can do,
contractual expenses,
all right,
which is our largest section.
all right, so next section.
Employee benefits can't really do nothing about this
Yeah,
one.
that's just what it is.
Yeah, this one is bumped up by 5%.
Yeah, that's the DPW.
And these are
Just to clarify, none of those employees are us, that is not us.
No,
capital budget expenses, which I did not get from the county. So this is based off of whatever it was last year.
Okay.
So we're totally requesting $710,000 for operating expenses, which is an increase of 30,000 over the prior year, or 4.49%. So we can go to. Well, so what does this cost us? Per house? How does this affect our bottom line?
now the O and M budget is not based on frontage or anything else, it's just that.
No, yeah, that's the same for everybody.
Yep,
Everybody pays their fair share.
just so everybody knows that.
So the total operation expense would be $386,000. The amount of surplus that I'm suggesting we apply is $130,000. Which would offset the taxes to $256,000. We divide that by the 814 homes, that's $315.53 for your annual taxes, or $26.29 a month. And should we increase or decrease the surplus? If we increase the surplus, we lose the amount of other emergency funds that we could be using in the current year. This keeps our taxes relatively flat, so since we did play with it a little bit, I had it a little closer before.
Well, before we got to this, we want to circle back, and I suggested it actually. We wanted to just circle back at that number for, what was it, second page, when we were in so after capital,
The beach company?
help me out, yeah, it was
Beach management?
beach, we voted to extend,
Mhm.
all right, and expand, there was a number, I think we were looking to see if we wanted to drop it based on anything. So knowing that our increase is
About $1.50 a month. Right now,
per person,
per person.
per house,
Per
per house, per
Per
house. My feeling is I would pay that as a resident, so. Anybody doesn't see.
And if we don't spend it, it gets to be the
And that's-
surplus for the following.
So let's explain the surplus to everybody clearly, what the surplus means.
Yes, so when we've all paid the taxes, it is our money. We still get to spend it how we need it. And it doesn't go away. So either we can use it to offset the taxes. Or think of it like nobody's an accountant, but like a ruler, it's like a savings account. With no interest.
I was gonna say, there's no interest
But no
in
interest.
collecting, yeah, so we just hold it.
Yeah, so God forbid, a tornado comes through and a tree branch falls through the community building. We have the slush available just to get it fixed without it being affected.
Changing anything
Changing
else,
anybody's
changing
taxes.
anybody's taxes, we don't have to grab, we don't have to ask for any discretionary funds.
Because if we go over, I believe there was one time we've gone over where we've had a negative surplus. Where we've had to make it up, that was. I think maybe 6 years ago, I'm still working on the history of this file. But that would be a big jump from your prior year's taxes. So if we maintain a nice slush or. Surplus to it. Labor row has an increase from 25 to 30K. Yes, Joe, that is because there's a 5% increase for year over year.
And that probably, does that include the second position that we never have filled? Yeah,
No,
so, no,
no,
okay.
because we spent the 32, but some of that in there is.
25 or 35, that's one.
And the actuals of this are never reached. Because our laborer has always put in. The allotted hours
Yes,
or
so
less.
32 that we did. Hit in that category, some of this number is. Lifeguards,
Okay,
so the way it all booked in the. The DPW's accounting system is under just the one category. I don't have transparency to get to the details of who's who, it's just how's it booked.
Question, regarding obtaining a new maintenance person next year. Do we have any idea if we're paying a reasonable fee?
that's something that has to be talked about to the DPW,
Okay.
in general.
Well, it's just a county rate. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do
Are we
about
paying the
that.
county rate now?
Besides, we can't dictate what we pay Tom.
He's a county employee.
I know,
He's the same as, yeah, he's the same as like Thomas
Thomas.
Bull or,
yeah, okay.
It depends on seniority, experience, and
right.
Yeah.
Joe, does that satisfy your question? You know, typically, typically we would not take rolling questions, but
Yes. Yeah, we based the number off of the 32,000, not the 25,000 that we got. 25 was a budgeted number, the 32 was an actual number. And it's a number
it makes more sense.
that we really can't have a say, we don't have a say, really, a say in.
Mhm.
We have a say in things that we're more requesting for improvements or maintenance, for things that we need here.
Decisions of the board, things that are not decisions of the board, like DPW employees is.
Yeah. So if there's another thing that we can drop, we might not need as much. If we're doing stone this year, or we need stone next year,
Yeah, stone was always in there in case the boat launch became a problem, you know, and the recommendation is always, you need four-wheel drive regardless. So you didn't have trouble launching, right? I know that's always kind of a, they always re-ask, the board always seems to ask.
anything, I just put item 4 down and try to compact it.
So,
yeah, I mean, I think I'm fine with how it is. Does anybody else have any input?
I just had one request stated to me about paving it. One of the residents,
Well, paving everything, paving.
no,
one
just the
thing,
launch,
Just to launch,
just the launch.
So I think we'd have to like go back and discuss that at a general board meeting, but I know that was, I think we talked about that, I wanna say in the fall. And there was even, I don't know, there were other issues, because there was no engineering. You know, there had to be engineering done, if you paid it, a lot of it's gonna, I think, break up anyway, you just need it, like, there's no.
yeah, it has to
all
be, something that's gonna have to be.
We need a foundation first.
Yeah.
Before we do
Yeah,
that,
foundation you're adding for.
so yeah,
Most of that ground, like right off of there, I believe is just muck.
it's clay, yeah, so that would need a consulting
But is
service.
this something that's on the table still, or is it that issue?
I mean, I think it can always be revisited.
Because somebody keeps asking me about it, and I say, well, the board is discussing it.
Yeah, I mean, until it
If
seems to
somebody
be,
wants to head a project, then
yeah, no, until
there's
it's.
2 empty spots, please come in.
Well, until boats can't be launched
Yeah.
or something's wrong in that respect, I mean, I think at the moment there are other
And
projects.
since
that
I
we
don't
want-
really use it for myself, I really don't know.
Yeah, because the majority of boat, I mean, so the boat launches for majority of pontoons, at the beginning of the season
Sure.
and the end of the season.
Sure.
During the season, anybody that's coming in with a trailer, we probably don't want them here anyway,
Yeah.
because they're probably not a resident or a guest. So those boats tend to be hand-placed boats. But the trailers, do we want to make it more accommodating for, residents that, until we get the gate,
Unauthorized.
unauthorized residents, unstickered boats until we get that gate in?
Yeah.
What if we gate the launch instead of the parking?
Again, I think that's something we can discuss at a meeting. Yeah, that's something we discuss at a meeting. Until security, in my eyes, until security is rock solid. To improve certain things is kind of moot, because then we're advertising how great it is. And people are gonna come use it when we can't secure it.
Okay,
Right,
All right.
that's just been my opinion in past meetings, so.
then there's the fun one, the capital budget, that is the loans and bonds that the county has taken out on our behalf. For projects like the dam. This should not change, they haven't gave me the updated information, but as long as they didn't take out any new debt for us. Then it shouldn't change and payments will be chipping away at this,
How is that determined? Do you know how they determine that?
by what loans they take in. So if any,
Is that the legislature's decision? Or is it like the financial office on
It's
it?
a 30-year bond with them.
yeah, these are like the big.
Oh, so it's the actual bond money, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that changes.
And I believe this is the one that gets allocated by where you are on the lake.
Yes,
Oh, tiers.
The tiers.
the tiers and
Three
also,
tiers, right?
tiers also frontage.
Yeah, front of, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, like the inside of shore is different than the,
There's 3 tiers.
yeah, that's right.
It makes sense, but I don't have a file where the exact calculation is. I would like that.
Let's ask for that. Let's ask for that. So,
I don't know if I
Yeah,
want to
the
know.
person that made it. Has it.
okay, well, it sounds like something that we can start turning, flipping over stone into DPW, so. 3 tiers from
So,
financial owners.
okay,
We need board comments yet, or are we down to that
board
yet?
comments.
All right, so do we want to just jump in back to, so are we out of the sheet? Are we done with the sheet?
Yes, we've gone through all the tabs. Taxes would be increasing by $26.9 a month for the operations and
All right, do
maintenance.
you want to speak about some of these points B and C? I'm familiar with some of them
the,
in the budget itself, so. So we finished O and M. Which is section 5A.1. And then we do,
one's done.
then A and B, review items in orange, which we have done.
B, open up for district residents, provide suggestions and recommendations. Anybody here have any questions?
No.
Anybody out in the 2 people that are in the internet have any questions?
Joe or Christina? I'm gonna take that as a no.
Okay, we got a.
No.
Lifeguards have their own line and 15 and senior. For 6K. Yeah,
Because because the senior is only one person.
yeah.
What's the question?
The question is lifeguards have their own line item and 15K for senior, yet. They are not part of 30K in labor too. So what he's pointing out is that. I believe that this 32,000 has. The lifeguard salary in it, it's not all of Tom. So this number would be too high then.
I'm pretty sure he does that, does include the lifeguards in the past.
So then if this number includes the lifeguards,
There's the redundancy.
then this is a redundant. So we take taking 21 out seems too high.
Yes.
Keep it at 25?
For labor.
For labor too.
Yeah, we'll take it out, because we already accounted for it in the other one, the other section.
So we'll keep it flat with the prior year. That brings us to only a 41 cents.
Yeah, it's a good catch, Joe, and also too, once we vote on this and whether we vote to pass it. It's gonna go over to the financial office of DPW, which then they're gonna fine tooth it, make sure it makes sense. And. They'll
Yeah,
get back to
they
us.
will add in whatever they want to add in. Generally, they
Yeah.
won't question what we put in,
Mhm.
but if. They're gonna put in whatever they can put in, so they'll adjust it to however. The labor 2 salary is gonna be.
Yeah, so this is our 2 cents, so to speak, and then they can change it.
So that makes the taxes 25.22 a month and only a 41 cent increase from last year.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Okay, that is everything.
So you have the request from Eve Lincoln regarding that. foot wash station.
Oh, yes, yes. Eve asked about if we could put a foot washing station.
Right, I was thinking that might.
I don't
be
think
more-
that
That might
needs to
be
be a
more for
budget
next
item.
week's meeting.
If we
Yeah,
have some, an extra lumber that can make a little square that we can run
Yeah.
a hose to.
it's literally
It's a little bit of
extending
pea
the
gravel.
spigot line and,
That's could be a little RQ we could fit in for this year. I don't think,
yeah, it's a small project.
It's a
It's
small
not,
project.
it's not a large.
but I think it's a good idea.
I,
We got another
agree.
question. Thanks for the clarification. All right. Um. I want to thank Dave Miskovich for his assistance in passing the torch off to me. And then, guess we have a motion to accept the budget.
Second it.
Oh, a motion. You second it.
Yeah.
I thought he made the motion.
Jason made the motion. You're agreeing to the motion. Do we have a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Once,
Budget. It's been accepted, 2025.
once the DPW puts in their numbers, we will have it posted to the BDL website. And there we go.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We'll be back next week.
Yep, next meeting will be, are we still on?
Still on.
Still on. So next meeting will be, the regular June meeting will be next Wednesday, and that will be our lake management presentation by GEI. It's a big one. And we'll be discussing boat storage, which I know everybody's been waiting for that with bated breath.